Hey yo, what up? It's the Monk. It's been a while since I did one of these cooking videos, but today I wanted to show y'all a quick recipe for some taco soup, man. You know what I'm saying? Now with this recipe that I'm doing today, obviously I'm cutting corners. I mean, I'm using some packets of taco seasoning mix. You can always make your own seasoning mix, which will taste a little bit better than the store-bought. And of course I got some Hidden Valley Ranch. You also want to mix that in there. Can't forget the chopped meat. Don't really matter if it's fatty like mine or if it's lean. Some pinto beans, you know, some tomato sauce, some Mexican style stewed tomatoes. And again, if you want to use your own tomatoes and cut them up and season it yourself, you can. But again, I'm just doing this recipe super quick today. I want to get this together for my wife because she's a little under the weather, and I want to make something for her that'll help her feel better. You also want some chili beans or black beans. In this case, this already has some chili sauce, so it's already seasoned. Again, if you want to use your own black beans, go right ahead. You want to have some corn. Got some whole kernel corn here. Again, if you want to buy some fresh corn, chuck it yourself and separate it from the stalk, you can. We have some beef broth. In this case, it's 50% less sodium, and the reason for that is because all three of these packets of the taco seasoning and the ranch already have salt in it. So if you use beef broth that's just normal, it's going to be salt overload, and that is not what you want to do. That is bad for your heart, for your corazon, you know what I'm saying? So don't do that. Don't be abusing the salt. I also got a whole onion, and I got a whole orange pepper and a whole green pepper, and these I'm gonna dice them up. You already know how to dice it up, man. I don't have to show you, you know, me with the blade dicing. It's a waste of time. So I'm gonna dice this up, I'm gonna prepare the meat, and I'll show you the next step. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you want to have a big pot. This is like a, you know, medium to large, I guess you can call it like a stewing pot or pasta pot, whatever. And I got the chopped meat in there, but I forgot to tell you some other ingredients. You want to have some minced garlic. If you prefer fresh garlic where you chop it up yourself, go ahead. Again, I'm in a hurry as I'm doing this. You're going to want some black pepper, and you're going to want some salt. So we're going to season this meat. I'm adding about maybe like a teaspoon. And then with the black pepper, and I'm doing this with one hand. Oh, and it would be nice if we turn the stove on, right? You want to put it to like a medium, a little bit higher than medium. Sprinkle some black pepper in there. I think I'm adding about a tablespoon again. Again, I don't really measure. I just throw it in there till I think it's right. Since I cook a lot. I'm gonna cook down this meat until it's brown, and as I said, I diced up the vegetables, so I'm gonna toss that in there, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients, and I'll come back to you when I get to that part. Oh yeah, and in my case, if you're cooking with some fatty meat, you see all that grease, it's fogging up the lens or whatever, but I don't want this much fat in there, so I'm gonna use colander or strain or whatever, drain some of that fat off, and I'm gonna put it right back in the pot. Alright, now once you got that fat drained out of the meat, again, you don't have to do that step if you have lean meat. We want to add about a tablespoon of this garlic. We want a lot in there because we're gonna, you know, we're making some soup. We want a lot of flavor, a lot of funk, right? And then I'm gonna add some of our vegetables. Yeah, man, I can't do this with one hand, but I'm gonna put the vegetables into the pot. Yeah, the magic of editing. So the vegetables in the pot mix up with the meat. We're gonna cook this together until these wither down some. And the trick is, as these vegetables wither down, it's gonna create water. Well, these packets need water so it doesn't stick, and you know, it works as magic, you know what I mean? So instead of adding water, we're gonna use the water from the vegetables, as well as add the ranch Then we're gonna let that cook together, so that way all that gets the funk together. And that's when we got all this. Oh, and by the way, you know what? Let's throw a little bit more pepper on there. Why not? It might seem like I'm adding a lot of stuff right now, but trust me, when you add that broth and everything else, a lot of these flavors in the meat and vegetables will get drowned out. So that's the reason why you want this seasoned as much as possible before you add everything else. Trust me, I'm telling you from experience. So I'm gonna let these cook down, and then I'll get back to you when I add the packets and the corn and all that, the beans, All right, so now that the green onions and the vegetables have started to reduce and caramelize and whatnot, it's been about 10 minutes. It hasn't been that long, but next phase, gonna add this taco seasoning in there. So there's one packet, second packet. Okay, I'm dropping in the pot. Look at me, Mr. Clumsy. Put that together. Let the seasonings get in. Then we add that last packet of ranch, or the first packet of ranch with the last seasoning packet. Add that in there. Mix that in. Smelling good on my end. Can't imagine how you probably feeling on your end. Probably looking good, right? But I'm still not done. So I'm gonna let this cook together to where it's kind of sticky. Not super sticky, but a little sticky. And then we're gonna add that tomato, the tomatoes. See, it's getting sticky. Get some seasonings up in there real good. Alright, so let's add that tomato. Where's it at? Man, where is it? Oh, here it is. Again, the stewed tomatoes. Let's add that in there. Put that in. Let's add these pinto beans. All right, and let's add the corn. Crazy doing this one-handed, man. Alright, and let's add the... What's next? Oh yeah, we gotta add the other beans. Chili beans, the black beans. Mix that in there. And then we'll add this tomato sauce. Then we'll mix that in there. And I'm gonna let this cook down for another couple minutes, and then when I come back, we're gonna add that beef broth. All right, now that we got this mixed together real good, real nice, we're gonna add this beef broth. Now, depends on what you're going for. If you want like something that's more of like a chili, then use a quarter of this quart. You know, use that much and then stop right there. But if you want this to be more of like a soup, like what I'm aiming to do, then just go ahead and pour pretty much the whole thing. And let's whip this together. And you see how it takes on more of a soup roll. I mean, yeah, it's gonna reduce as you cook this. You're gonna wanna cook this on, say like a medium low, maybe like a 3 or a 4 if you're doing this on an electric stove. And it'll probably reduce some, but yeah, you know what? Let me play it safe and just add the whole thing, add the whole quart of beef broth. And after about, you know, you could stop this after an hour and it'll be good. But in my case, I'm gonna slow cook this for about 2 hours. That way it's real nice and hearty. For my wife, you know, again, she's under the weather, so I want to make this real good so she can heal up and get better. But yeah, man, this is basically my recipe for taco soup. It's been the Monk. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like it, I guess you can hit the dislike and make me sad. But at any rate, I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.